know, this is a very, very important seat. All seats are important. But one of these guys is going to be going to Nashville making law that affects us all. But we want to thank you for running. It's an important office. It's always good to have good candidates. We are proud of your candidates, and I can tell you this, no matter who the nominee is, we better be prepared. I know what I'm talking about. I've already been there and done that with Faison, and it's a tough race, I can tell you. And you're going to go up against a lot of money, to the tune of $50,000-$60,000 in negative advertising. That's what we were up against with Faison. So, and this one will be worse, I can assure you. The next person in line is Ted Hensley, alphabetically.
I appreciate the opportunity to come up and share a few minutes with you and make a notation of the minute hand there. When my wife first asked me in the summer of 2010 to step up and run for county commission, I really had to stop and think about it. But my bride of 26 years knew that my heart was in a place where it wanted to be of help to our community. So after looking at the possibilities, we had a commissioner who had stepped aside to run for mayor at that time, leaving an opening. I decided that I would follow her advice and make that commitment. I'm not sure what I expected after having won that contest, but I found out pretty soon it wasn't the business planning sessions that I thought it was going to be. My hope was to bring my own life's experiences to help. The Greene County values that were instilled in me, having been raised by the parents that I was raised by and tutored in Sunday school under Miss Mabry over here for a number of years, that those life experiences would come together in such a way that decisions could be made based on what the public would need and afford. And to make sure that I was doing it in the legal fashion, I did take a 12-week course in the Constitution offered by Jeff Cobble prior to that commitment. What I learned there is so many of us take public office positions. First thing we do, we swear to uphold the Constitution. I've come to realize that a lot of folks in that position may have forgotten what they learned in the 5th grade. So anyone that's interested, my first advice would be go back and take a look at that, because upholding the Constitution is more difficult than imagined. We had the brilliance of founders who gave their lives so that we can have the system that we have here today, a system where the average citizen could step up, a citizen such as myself or any one of you that are here tonight that would be filled with a concern for the country and be willing on your own to step up. But going back to the founders and what their mindset was at that time led me to believe that we've come far afield from the original designs that they had for this country. I don't know when it started. It's been over 50 years, maybe close to 100. But we started losing our way, as it were. Now, I don't want to point fingers at either party, because both parties have brought us to the point where we are today. So I have to believe that both parties, at some measure, are at fault, or are responsible, should I say. And I think it's time that the citizens realize that we have the government we have because that's the government we have asked for and have demanded over the years. There will usually be some crisis, like somebody will have a motorcycle accident, and now we need helmets. And one thing leads to another. Now we have stop signs and speed zones, and now we got building codes and so forth. So we have the government we have because that's what we've demanded and that's what we've asked for. And also in a lot of cases, that's what we have allowed. One of the things that I find when talking with the public out there is that so many of the public are disenfranchised entirely from the operations of government, from the trust, from the faith of government running itself the way it should be run. And it's years and decades of voting for folks, getting empty promises, and getting poor results from those votes, to the point that now I think we average about 1/3 of our people actually take the trouble to get up and stand to vote. If there were a way that the people could stand up and take the government back, well, we are the people, so what are we taking back? We're taking back the system which we designed. And yes, Duncan, we're going to have to roll a few things back. I agree with you wholeheartedly. There's a lot of things that need to be rolled back. There's a lot of other problems too, which in time, with the right citizens stepping up, we will be able to work together to solve those. And I believe that the Greene County values that we've been instilled with are some of the most solid, foundational values that could serve not only this county, but our whole state as well. Should I go there, I'll be taking those same Greene County values with me. And all Greene Countyans are going to be on my shoulders. If there ever was a citizens candidate, it's going to be me. I've set up the, we have set up the blogs and the Facebooks and all of that kind of stuff. But in addition, why not have coffee shop meetings? First Saturday over in Belleton, second Saturday over in Caney Branch somewhere, third Saturday up in Chuckey area, etc., where we can all regularly get together. I know in my real estate business, to be successful, you have to be somebody that talks a lot. And the broker training classes that I've attended say, if you want to be real successful, you have to listen twice as much as you talk. Good Lord gave you 2 ears and 1 mouth. Now right now it's my opportunity to talk. And I've got about another 30 seconds to do that. But if I have a promise, it is that I will be listening, and listening intently. And should there be any legislation come up with which I am unfamiliar, I'll be calling and asking for your advice. If you're an expert in a specific field, it's going to be advice from you. I'm not going to pretend to be the expert in every field down there. If it's a constitutional issue, I know who I'll call. If it's a banking issue, it's a farming issue, I've been identifying folks all over the county that I can work with to help me on these specific issues. It's not right to go down there, pretend you know it all, pass legislation, and come back and just spread it across your county willy-nilly. I am out of time. I'd like to ask if there are any questions. I could talk for 20 minutes probably. Anyone?
Well, I'm going to ask you the same question. If you personally could go back and repeal any one state law, what would it be, or would you repeal it?
Any one state law? I'm sure there's a whole gaggle of state laws. One of my thoughts when I came into the commission was that I would get with the mayor and our sheriff and find out what laws, such as spitting on the sidewalk and several laws like that, that are out of fashion, out of date, and so forth. Currently, I'm not current on anything that I would change currently. I'm pleased with what's been going on in Nashville this session. As far as repealing, I'm real pleased with the repealing of the death tax. Pleased with that. I don't think we need a gun permit. I think the Second Amendment is your permit. The repealing.
You don't have any, that's okay.
Yeah, yeah. I would really like the opportunity to study that and figure out which would be the most important one and then pass that.
Maybe you get next time.
One thing I am thinking about, and that is an idea, and maybe I can get some ideas from you folks here tonight. I'm not sure when it was started. Who said that when you got unemployment benefits, you got to go home and sit there on the couch and watch TV?
Hallelujah.
Okay? What I was thinking, I got 2 lines of thought on that. One would be a whole long laundry list of civic work over here on this one side of the coin. So you go and you apply for your benefits, wash windows at the courthouse, fix up the playground down at the school, clean the creek bank down here at the Big Spring, etc. 4 days a week, leaving 1 day to go out and find a real job. You're going to be up 8 o'clock every morning, you're going to get out there, you're going to be networking, you're probably going to find a job, you're going to get tired of doing the civic work. Another thing, along the same lines of thought, an employer such as myself, I would grow my company by 1 employee if I could afford it. If I could afford that employee, I could grow my company and be more profitable. How about I post that position down at the unemployment office? That unemployed person goes down and I don't want to do a civic job. Oh, here's a job at a real estate office. I'll take that. That employee comes to me 4 days a week. I train him on how to do the job necessary to support my agents. His benefits flow through my company. I pay him with his own benefits, okay, as a way of me financing the position. My profitability increases to the point that I can hire him permanently. Just another thought. Kind of goes along with the tutorship program you were talking about.
Any more questions? You guys must be doing a good job or something. I don't know. Thank you, Ted.
Thank you.